All right, so I'm just gonna go over the game I just played at my local chess club. Yeah, it was a 90-30, basically a classical time format game. Yeah, I was playing as white. This is my first time at the chess club, so I started with my London system. Yeah, so basically standard opening. So E6 was actually not as common as I've seen, but yeah, after D5, it's a position I'm kind of familiar with, everything normal so far. E3, C5. I play knight D2, knight C6, C3 here, getting ready to prepare bishop D3, my normal setup. So after this move, CX D4, I was actually a little bit surprised and wasn't really happy to see this because I don't like this type of positions just because I find it a little bit of uh I guess not enough tension. I like positions where there's more tensions in the middle and then but after exchanging this with the EXD4, this kind of position already I am not that familiar with how to get a winning plan with white or taking advantage from the opening. After d6 here, I was not sure what to do. I remember I was supposed to take on d6 after something like queen takes d6, bishop d3, gets castle, and then weekend castle. Um, Something like that, I remember, but from my just remembering this and this position, seeing it on the board, I felt like it was very, symmetrical, I guess, or well, not symmetrical, maybe not the right word, but wasn't really sure how to get play. So I thought to make it a little bit more complicated by playing knight e5. Not sure if it's a good move or not. Um, so here, of course, cannot be taken because of the fork. So he took with the bishop, which was, one of my, I'm glad to see as well. So after um, I captured back with the d pawn, he played knight d7. Here, I was thinking maybe I just play knight f3, covering this, and then go for maybe some just set up like this, or maybe even push the h pawn. Yeah, so I just played knight f3 to cover adding a defender. I was expecting f6, taking on f6, and then after the knight captures back, here I was kind of worried about knight coming to e4, so I wasn't really sure what to do here. So I thought of playing knight b5, just pinning this. Idea is if he plays knight e4 there, I'm able to take here, and then once he captures back here, I thought I can play knight d4, attacking these two pawns and also allowing f3. Although looking at it now, after knight d3, maybe he has c4 kicking my knight here. But maybe this would have been some sort of threat. Yeah, so that's pretty much why I played b5. And then he did not play knight e4. I was expecting he ended up playing queen b6, which I was not expecting at all. Here I was, of course, I need to protect the bishop somehow. The first reaction was a4, but then I thought after a4, maybe he plays a6, kicking my bishop, and I didn't really want to trade my bishop here. But retreating seems like I would be hanging this pawn. So ultimately, I decided playing e2 to protect this bishop after knight d7. Here I basically was thinking quite a while what to do here. I could have castled or just add some pressure somehow. So I'm someone that doesn't really like castling too early in the London because of yeah, just the chessable course Coach Alex has is sometimes in positions where you don't castle too early, it's more attack. So I just thought playing bishop d6, which was my next move, preventing the opponent from castling. Yeah, really wasn't sure what his move would have been here. So that's why I thought I played it, but I completely missed that he can play knight e4, which was surprising because I was looking at this move earlier. So after I played knight e4, I was like, oh, maybe, here we go. Time to lose this game. But I played bishop a3, keeping the same preventing castle. But he castled long, which was, not which was pretty surprising actually. I didn't even calculate this move. I thought he would just start uh try to get it, try to get a knight in here and then blocking and then castle, so castle short. of course, after protecting the square. But yeah, castling long here does seems pretty scary because I guess he can just start pushing down the king side. Um, I castled anyways. But yeah, after he played g5 here, yeah, I wasn't really sure what to do. Of course, he's getting ready to just push everything and then storm the king side. So here I thought to play knight d2 was my first reaction. Idea is just to attack this. Uh, oops, sorry about that. Yeah, the idea was to play something like knight d2 and attack this twice. But I thought if I play something like this, he can. Yeah, think about that. I don't know why I didn't play that move. But looking at knight d2 here, I thought he can just take and then you know oh yeah, that's why. After I take here, then this is blue. So knight d2 was out of the question. That was why. Yeah, so I also thought about playing h3, just preventing this. But I thought if he can play it anyways, and I take, and then even though I win a pawn, it feels like he could have a lot of pressure with the two rooks here, and then just like pushing this h file. And also, he does have some sort of like a lot of pressure on the king side. So I didn't want to play h3, so I ended up playing c4. My idea was, of course, he cannot capture. He hangs this. Um, but then I guess I'll hang this. Um, yeah, so but that's probably not really a good move. But my idea was playing c4. Um, and then if he was to play this, it would be hanging this. But of course, taking on here would have been the move I was expecting. Oh yeah, my thinking was after he was taking this, I was able to capture back with the queen or the bishop, and having an open file would benefit me. That was my thinking with playing c4. But yeah, after playing c4, as soon as I played it, I was really not sure what is happening now, because I realized he could have played something like that as well. Like this would have been quite a messy, wasn't really sure, so I missed that move. He did play g4, pushing the knight. I was kind of expecting this. Play knight d2. Idea is just to, get rid of this knight. But he did come in with knight d4, which was a move. I did see, and then I thought I would have been fine after trading off the bishop first, just to make it less complicated. And then I thought I can play knight d3. But I did was in quite of I felt like it was a little bit troublesome because of course my queen's being attacked. I thought I moved it out here, something like this. And then after the queen captures back, he can capture this, exposing this diagonal, and then the threat would have been something like knight f3, even giving a check while attacking my queen. So I saw that, and then but I did realize, but there's not really other choice. My queen is being attacked right now. Where else can I move it to? If I move it to anywhere else, I'm pretty much losing material. If I yeah, so there's not really much of a choice. So I had to go down the sequence. But here knight e3, I did find. Idea is if he was to try to fork my queen and rook, I can always take his queen first, and then move out the way. So I went with that, and then he did go down that line. Um, and then here he played b5. So here I wasn't really sure what to do because of he does a messy pawn structure, and I wasn't really sure what to do. Maybe I would have played knight e1, attacking this, something like that, and then maybe try to create some play. Maybe that, not that, but yeah, I wasn't really sure. So I end up playing a4. Just ideas, if he takes this, I take, and then win pawn, of course. Yeah, he have a nice rook c7. I went ahead to take this pawn. He pushes c3, which is surprising. My idea of playing rook c2 was just to double up. I thought that he was able to in time to come here and then here. But I thought maybe the king would have been able to add some pressure here with my two rooks attacking this. So I thought this was okay. So he did actually go for that, but instead of playing this move, I think he played h5, which was a little strange. So I thought maybe he miscalculated because I can take this pawn for free and then capture back, and I am capturing back with check, so there's no back rank mate. So I went with this. I played king f1, activating my king. He played rook d5, attacking my pawn. Here, I didn't want to play a4 because of I thought after a4 or something like this, I have no really good way of protecting the pawn. So, or even maybe the king can move down and eventually these pawns might be very dangerous. So I just played b3, rook b3 just to protect that pawn. He goes with king b7, king c7, sorry. I'm activating my king here. I'm playing rook d2 because I was calculating this. I don't think it would have worked in my favor. I calculated this, um, something like that takes. I would have to go here, and then he would have been way ahead of me before I can promote my pawns. So I didn't want to trade the rook just yet, so I moved it out of the way. He plays king b6, attacking this. Like I mentioned earlier, it's kind of hard to keep this pawn alive. So because even if I played a4 here, he's coming in here, attacking this, and my king won't be in time pretty much to protect that. So I just pretty much gave up on that pawn. So I played h3. Idea is just to create some maybe a potential pass pawn. He takes, I take with the rook, letting him take back, then I give a check. C6 protecting his pawn. Now I played back to rook e3. I wanted him to take this because I thought I calculated here it would have worked in my favor now, because if he is to go for my pawn now, I would have been in time, or I thought I would have been ahead in the promotion, because if he was to take, and then my pawn would have been racing down the board, and then eventually I would be promoting in just before him. Then now I have a queen, he has the queen, but it's my turn to move, and his king is here. I thought I was able to give a check, and then wherever his king moves, I can queen come back to the b file and then take the queen. And then once he captures the queen on here, my king would have been able to grab this pawn in time before he's able to save, and then I can push this f pawn. That's what I thought was gonna happen. But yeah, I don't know if that's in time, but that's my intuition saying that. Maybe I'll turn on the engine to see, because I'm actually curious what would happen from there. Take here. Yeah, this indeed does look like it's gonna work, but I just want to sure if that idea is even right. I forgot about that pawn being there. So this wouldn't have worked because this was my idea. And am I not in time to capture this? I thought I was in time to capture. That was a miscalculation. Okay. So I guess the part that I was wrong about is that instead of giving a check here, the check here would have been the one that's actually winning with the same idea. I see. Yeah, so it would have worked, but I guess my calculation was completely incorrect. Okay, let's turn the engine off. Okay. So here, he played back. He did not trade. He played rook d5. I offered the same trade, and this time he took. So now he plays king d5. I played king e3. He played king e5. Here I had a feeling I was winning, but I wasn't really sure because my endgame here is actually not the greatest. I did notice that he's almost running out of pawn moves, so he can either push this pawn or this pawn. So I thought to play g3 to prevent this push, and then I can have a thing. outside passer. And then if he was to push this pawn, I'm always have a basically prevent his move. If he plays move 1 square, I can move 2 square. That means his next move I would be able to take. So that's what I thought. So I played g3 here. That might have been a mistake. And then he played b6. And then here I played a4, thinking the same idea I mentioned earlier. He can not able to promote. He moves all the way. Here I was calculating actually this whole sequence here. What would happen if I were to basically take, 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 and then I would be able to. I realized I was able to promote in time, and promoting time while covering the square all the way down the basically the h one diagonal. So that's actually what happened. And he surprisingly he did go for the exact line I was calculating. But at this point I realized here he could have actually just pushed this one. So I was like, but so to my surprise, he did take the G pawn, which I got really lucky. And then of course I was able to promote and cover this square. Yeah, and then that's pretty much the game.